is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about 10 players that has either fell off or having a breakout year, but their year before was either not that good or they having such a good year that it changed our minds and made us rethink about them. And also, this is their comeback time to prolong their career. Their career might have been over. It might have been going in the wrong direction. They didn't have the right team or the right coach, or, they flamed out a little bit and next thing you know, nobody cared and they became irrelevant. Next thing you know, they come back on the right team, right system, or around the right players, and they come back and have their best year of their career. An honorable mention, as I made a video last week, is Jahlil Okafor, because he only had a couple games. It's not the whole complete year. He has had a couple games where he has been putting up 21 and 11 over the last couple games. I had hoped that he will make a comeback. I didn't want to see him fail. I definitely still thought he had potential. I was happy when he signed a deal with the Pelicans. I thought it was a good deal for him in the Pelicans, and he's proven that right now. But considering that he hasn't had a great year as a whole so far, I can't put him on this list. Same with Brook Lopez. I feel like Brook Lopez has exceeded what he did in the Lakers as a stretch four and has done it a lot better in Milwaukee. But considering the fact that he just enhanced what he did last year, it's not that big of a comeback because he played well last year, and the numbers are not too far off from what he did last year. But as a whole, he has really reinvented himself and prolonged his career, and it looks like he's going to be a player that's going to be a hot commodity in free agency, and that's something I really couldn't say last year coming off the year that he had with the Lakers. This is not a top 10 in order. This is just 10 players in general. So let me say that. This isn't from top to bottom the best players. This is just 10 players I personally feel has made a comeback or has reinvented themselves. Number 10 is Miles Turner. I was a guy that was high on Miles Turner coming out of Texas. I feel like he didn't get the playing time in college. It hurted his draft stock. He went in Summer League and showed out, dominating Summer League, using that fadeaway, posting up, hitting spot up jumpers. He looked like the perfect big for the modern NBA, and he has shown that he has lost the ability to dominate offensively as a scorer. He has the most versatile game, athleticism, touch. He's a decent free throw shooter. He's athletic. He has never really figured it out offensively, but defensively, he has reinvented himself as one of the better rim protectors and defenders this year. And that's something I couldn't say in his first 3 seasons because he wasn't a great defender. And he actually got paid this year too, so he's part of their long-term plans because they gave him an extension. But not only that, he was a foul-happy guy. He was always fouling, and he really didn't know how to contest. He really didn't know when to rotate. He wasn't great when it came to switching on guards and more stronger centers and forwards. But now he has been able to adapt, and he has become one of the best defensive players in the league. I want to see if he can continue this for multiple years, but that's something that I couldn't say about him 3 years ago. That's reality today. Serge Ibaka, he fell off in the playoffs. I was rooting for him. I was a big OKC guy, and I feel like Serge Ibaka was just so important to that team, being able to stretch out the floor to the point where he was even shooting threes in OKC, but also being able to rebound decently and protect the rim and guard multiple positions. He was one of the more valuable, underrated players, depending on who you ask. And even when you watch when the Thunder went to the finals, when Serge Ibaka came back against the Spurs, you seen the defensive impact and how important he was to their identity. And I'm starting to see that again with the Toronto Raptors. He ain't shooting that well from 3, but he's not really taking that much either. So I don't really care about his 3-point percentage because it ain't like he's shooting a lot of threes. He only shooting two, and he's not really living and dying by the three. He's using his mid-range game. He's doing what he used to do in the Thunder. He playing with guys that can shoot and space out the floor. He just setting good screens, knocking down mid-range jumper, finishing in the paint. And it seemed like he found what made him special in the first place, and he went back to that. But coming off the playoff series, the playoff run that he had last year, it's good to see him come back, accept his role, and really work hard within that role to get where he is today, which is on arguably the best team in the Eastern Conference. And they have a chance to finish number one in the East when it's all said and done. And a lot of people have them going to the NBA Finals or at worst the Eastern Conference Finals, which is an improvement from last year. Rudy Gay, I feel like him hitting the game winner yesterday kind of just showed you that Rudy Gay ruptured his Achilles. We thought he was done. Most people thought he was done because he was older. He never was a great scorer to some people. He was a guy that was a high volume scorer. He took a lot of shots, even though his efficiency rose a lot in Sacramento. Being at that age, being in those moments, you think that, yeah, Rudy Gay, he's done. But he has came back and has shown that he still can play the game. He's still posting up on smaller defenders. He's out muscling shooting guards and shooting over them, fade away and over them. He's doing his pull-up game. He's even knocking down some threes. But the mid-range game has always been his strongest thing, and he has got back to that. And honestly and truthfully, that's the reason why he has been so good this year. The fact that he can play multiple positions and he can score the basketball. And Greg Popovich puts him in the right areas, puts him in the right spots, and he punishes mismatches. And he is a guy that can guard and play multiple positions. We're seeing a re-motivated Rudy Gay. And I think after this season, his career will be prolonged. He was a guy that you wanted to try out every year. Now he's a guy that I can see getting a 2 to 3 year deal with a decent team, and they having confidence that he can deliver a couple more good years. I couldn't say that 2 years ago, but as of right now, Rudy Gay is playing at an all-time high since his career is now towards the backwards end, and it looks like he can be a solid rotation player at worst for a couple more years to come, even coming off the Achilles. Thaddeus Young. Now, Thaddeus Young has had a great 2 months of when Victor Oladipo was gone. He really stepped up and helped the team win, and he was able to be very efficient, shooting basically 60% from the field and giving you 15 points a game for the last 2 months. And it looks like this month is going to continue that in February. He shows no signs of slowing down. He is in the contract year because that could probably motivate him. Plus, Victor Oladipo has missed significant time, and he will be out for the rest of the year. So somebody's going to have to take some shots. Somebody's going to have to make some shots, and somebody's going to have to step up. And it seems like Thaddeus Young is the guy that wants to do it. Miles Turner didn't want to do it. Darren Collison has been solid. Tyree Evans hasn't really shown what he did last year. He regressed a little bit this year, but it seemed like Thaddeus Young has took the opportunity serious, and he has shown that he can still play, and he can be a guy that you can switch and play with multiple positions too. But he has been very efficient in showing that he at least got 3 to 4 more years with being an athlete, that he can still be a solid player in this league. 6, Blake Griffin. A lot of people, like I said before, I ain't gonna talk about him that much. They basically pissed on his grave, dug his grave, shitted on it and everything. They all said he was done. Now everybody this year is saying he's an all-star. Last year he didn't make the all-star team. I feel like he should have, but he couldn't stay healthy, and it was a legitimate reason why he didn't. This year, everybody's saying he's a guarantee all-star. Everybody's saying Blake Griffin's look good. Now, everybody not blaming Blake Griffin. They saying his team isn't that good. Only thing they blame is that if you have 2 all-star caliber players, you should be in the playoffs. I agree with that, but they don't really mesh well. And the fact that your third best player is Reggie Jackson, who hasn't really played like Reggie Jackson this year. And then you have guys like Stanley Johnson, Luke Kennard, and Langston Galloway. Those are mediocre players to bad players at best. I was surprised that the Pistons was able to stay in the playoff race as long as they did. They came back to earth. People started to figure them out. But the bright spot of this season was that Blake Griffin was able to stay healthy. Blake Griffin was able to dominate. His shot looks good. and he still looked like one of the better all-around players in the league. A guy that everybody was giving up on is a guy that everybody sees that still has something left in the tank. And if he can get to that All-NBA third team and the All-Star, that helps his case for being a Hall of Famer, because he has fallen off from both of those things the last 3 years, and it's good for him to be able to show that he still has a lot left in the tank, considering how big his contract is. That's what you want to see if you a Piston anyway. 5, Zach LaVine. I'm not going to talk much about this because Zach LaVine last year had a terrible season. He came off his ACL injury, very rusty. Explosiveness wasn't there. The field just wasn't there. The jump shot just wasn't falling. He worked his ass off this summer, and he's having the best year of his career. Yeah, the Chicago Bulls is losing. Yeah, his numbers are a little inflated because he is. But when you look at what he did in Minnesota, he was able to damn near average 20 points a game with Towns and Wiggins. So he's shown that he can be a clutch player over his career. He's shown that he can be a good, solid ball handler, and he has shown that he can hit threes at a decent level. And he has done all of that this year. The only difference is he doesn't have enough help, and they haven't had winning habits. You need a tough coach like Boylan to really get hard on them and really get the best out of them. Hopefully it works. If not, they got to find a coach that can put them in the right situation, really develop and be stern on them so they can really take winning serious. But other than that, Zach LaVine has shown why he was a highly touted player in high school and in college, and why I said that he was a sleeper. He had potential to be the best player in the draft. He's showing a lot of that right now, and I think he's only going to get better, which is kind of scary considering that he has been one of the best guards this year. Not a great defender still can turn the ball over a lot, still got shaky shot selection, but he's still not even 26 years old, so he can still pan a lot of that out, especially with the right coach and the right system. He's a guy I would like to have on my team, by the way. DAngelo Russell, a guy that you knew I covered a lot this year. I was waiting for DAngelo Russell to break out. I feel like he had everything besides the jump shot wasn't consistent. He never was the most explosive guy. He never was the guy that was the amazing finisher, but he was a guy that figured it out. He knew when to score, when to shoot, when to come off the screen. The only difference is he's playing with a whole lot of confidence. With Spencer Dinwiddie out and a team really needing somebody to step up, DAngelo Russell took it upon himself to, hey, if I get the ball, I'm just going to score it. His playmaking ability is still not there. He's not still a pass first point guard or the greatest decision maker, but the coach seemed like, just do you. Do what you want to do what you're good at, and we'll live with the results. And I feel like that has been huge for DAngelo Russell this year, and I feel like that's why he's having a good 2 months so far, and to the point where a lot of people saying he's an all-star in the East. The Nets is winning. He's closing games. He's taking big shots. He's making big plays, and that has really helped his team get to where it's at. Obviously, this is not what everybody thought the team would miss the playoffs, but instead they look like a lock for the playoffs as they above 500, and they have a huge cushion even if they do fall off and lose a couple games. Emmanuel Mudiay is a player that a lot of people will be surprised about. He basically never looked like an NBA player at all. And that's the problem with his career. He just couldn't score. He couldn't hit mid-range jumpers, had no floater game, still can't really shoot threes at all. But he was known as a passer. He had a good sense of where to pass and how to get the ball to where it has to go. His passing hasn't really translated to the NBA as we thought, but now he's starting to figure out how to get buckets. He's not shooting he's shooting 45% is where you want to shoot. You want to shoot about 44 or 45 or higher to be a volume scorer, and he has finally been able to do that with the Knicks. I think the floor spacing and the extra ball handlers has really helped him out, but I really think, just like Thaddeus, this is a make or break season for his career. Not too many people wanted him. Not too many people going to break the bank for him, but this was a good opportunity for him to get to the Knicks and have a chance to show that he really can still play and he deserves to be in the NBA. And he took the opportunity and performed pretty well this year. Even though I'm not a big fan of his, I respect him. You want to be an NBA player. You feel like you can come right in, and he was a lottery top 10 pick. A lot of guys felt like he had a high upside, and he's starting to show that right now. But his career could have been over if he flopped this year, and instead he prevailed, and I like seeing that. I didn't want to see him out of the league. I feel like this was a good pickup for the Knicks when they traded for him. but also he took it serious and really improved and worked on his game. And now he has got to the point where he looks a whole lot better. And that's something that I really couldn't say coming into this year, but ending this year, it looks like he's going to be around a little longer. I'm happy for him. Buddy Hield, he was a guy that got traded for DeMarcus Cousins, and he came in as a guy that continued to improve in college to the point where people started thinking he was going to be the next star, and he was a guaranteed all-star in the NBA. Now he's starting to look a lot more like that, averaging 20 points a game, has been the first or second best player depending on who you like, him or Fox. They got different type of games that have different type of impacts on the game, but he's been sniping it from three. He came in known as a three-point shooter. He has really translated that into his game right now, and he has a little step back fadeaway. He has a little push shot. He's finding ways to get to his spots. He's playing under control. He's not trying to do much. He knows what he's trying to accomplish, and he knows what he's trying to do, and his mind is made up, and teams haven't caught up to it. Teams haven't been able to stop it, and he's been abusing it. Now it's just about continuing to add other moves to your repertoire to diversify your game and play at a higher level. And I think they're going to need him to do that since a lot of their players haven't developed or haven't really turned into stars. Him and De'Aaron Fox have shouldered the load, but he needs to take his game to another level if he want to be an all-star and all-NBA player. I think he can get there. He don't have the explosiveness. He doesn't really have the height and size because he's 6'4". But if he put in the work and he worked harder than everybody else, he should be able to pass up a lot of guys, and he's proven that this year, and I think he can improve even more. Number one is obviously Derrick Rose. This is a guy, just like Blake Griffin, people said he was done. I told you guys that I feel like he was a good pickup for the Timberwolves, and he was a good pickup for the Cavaliers just because he played well in New York, and he showed that he can still be a quality player when he played in New York, given the right type of system, the right type of coach, and the right type of minutes, and being surrounded by the right type of players. But you can say that about a lot of players on this list, and that's why he made it. Derrick Rose has had his best year. He has reinvented himself as a guy that can shoot the ball from the mid-range. He still got the push shot, still got the floater. He's knocking down threes at a career-high rate. He's confident, he's aggressive, and he's just going out there playing his game and having fun and competing. And that's something that he hasn't done in a while, but I've been seeing it a lot more lately. And I'm happy for him because I was a big Derrick Rose guy. I didn't want to see him get injured. I was torn when he went down. It was sad, obviously, for the Chicago fans because we all loved him. And we seen that in the All-Star voting this year. Everybody was voting for Derrick Rose to be a starter. That's just the love of the game. People love him. People want to see him successful. People want to see him do well. He was a good dude, worked hard, was one of the most exciting players to watch, and it's good to see him come back and have the type of season he having, and that's why I have him as the guy that has come back the most. He been through the most. His career could have been over. He even wanted to quit, but instead he worked on his game and tried even harder, pushed himself even harder, and has had a chance to extend and get more respect from people, and his career looks like it's going to be going a little further depending on injuries. Hopefully he doesn't have any. But if he continues to play like this or even take his game to another level this offseason, he possibly can be an all-star with the right team, with the right system, and the right opportunity. He could get back to at least an all-star level. Will he be a superstar? Will he be an all-NBA player? I might not say that, but he still can be an all-star caliber player. I said that years ago, and he's proving me right now. If he was in the East on a decent to good team, getting this type of opportunity, he might be an all-star this year. But considering that he's in the West and his team is not in the playoffs, the opposite has happened. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thank you guys for watching my videos, checking out my older videos, and supporting me, buying the merchandise, liking on Facebook, liking the videos, and commenting. I really appreciate it. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching. That's why I continue to go. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. Also, I made videos just like this, season preview, draft coverage, breakdowns, trade deadline, trades in general, and even, everything basketball. I try to do a 365. I try not to miss a day. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video to end January. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm gone.